Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that was sent to me by one of our admins who received this message. Indeed, strange things they do happen in this world. The message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? So my English ain't that good. If I make any mistakes, can you please try to correct? So Brother Nashe, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I'm a French speaking man. I never thought that I'll be sharing this story, but after years of living in the shadows of a lie, I feel that I need to confess. So I've been living a double life. On the surface, I am a successful businessman here in Lagos. I am a millionaire with a lifestyle that a lot of young men do envy. I have expensive cars and I have a mansion in Lekki, designer clothes, anything that a millionaire can have. I have it all. I have it all indeed. But the truth behind my wealth is darker than anyone can ever imagine. So I have been doing these other rituals, and this ritual that I have been doing, it involves a creature, what most of the people they consider as a creature that is harmless. But this creature that I own, it is a spirit that possesses it. I have a tortoise that I use. It all started, it was in the year 2015. This was when I had lost my job. At that time when I had lost my job, things were really bad. My girlfriend had left me. I could not even pay rent, and I was about to move back to my parents' house. I was desperate, willing to try anything so as to turn my luck around. That was when I met this other guy. So this man, when I met him, he then told me that the reason as to why he had managed to make enough money, it was because he had joined this other club. When he said that he had joined a club, I did not understand when he said that he had joined a rich man's club. And when I questioned him even more, he said that he had been told by one of the chairmen. And when he was telling me that he had been told by the chairman that I was not yet ready, the truth of the matter was that he had been told by one of these priests, voodoo priest, that I was not yet ready. At that time, indeed, I was not yet ready. Out there, if there is anyone who wants to do any rituals, make sure that you stop praying, because you cannot have it both. You go to a healer, then you pray. You cannot have it both. You need to choose what you want. So the reason as to why this former friend of mine told me that I was not yet ready, it was because after I had a meeting with him, when I returned back home, I prayed and I thanked God for making him to come into my life again. And when I returned back to that man's house to have a meeting, he then told me that I was not ready. Little did I know that each and every time when I would pray, it was sort of like affecting him. Well, I thought that it was just my bad luck. That was when I met this other uncle of mine, but he's a distant relative. So he came back into the picture, and he was known in the family for his wealth. He was a mysterious man, never seen at family gatherings, especially those that were funerals. But whenever he showed up, everyone would whisper about his money. And most of the people, they were talking about how he had made his fortune. And most of them, they were calling him someone who has dirty money. But I was desperate. I reached out to him, and to my surprise, he agreed to meet with me. So the reason as to why he told me that he had agreed to meet with me, it was all because I had these other spiritual doors that had been opened up already when I had spoken with this other former high school mate of mine. So when I met him, we met at this other secluded bar in Ikeja. He was quiet and observing me carefully as I was pouring out my frustrations to him. When I was done, he smiled and said, Olu, there are two types of wealth in this world, the one you work hard for and the one that finds you. You, my boy, you are about to find yours. I didn't fully understand what he meant, but I was desperate. The following week, He invited me to his house. When I arrived, the first thing that I noticed was that there was a tortoise. It was huge, unlike anything that I had seen before. Its shell was dark and almost black, and its eyes, those cold, soulless eyes, seemed to follow me wherever I would go to. I could not help but ask, and I said, "Why do you have a tortoise, uncle?" He looked at me seriously and replied, "This tortoise, Ajay, has been with me for years. It's not just a pet. This is my source of wealth." I thought that he was joking, but his expression, I could tell that he was dead serious. He explained that Ajay was more than just an animal. It was something that had been given to him because he was involved in this other gentleman's club. So for you to be part of that club, you need to have this spiritual pet that you have. He told me that this was not just a normal tortoise, but this tortoise, it required offerings, not in the form of money or food, but something that was even more. Over the next few days, my uncle revealed the full scope of the rituals. He showed me everything, the rooms that he has at one of his houses, a room where no one is allowed to. He took me to another place where he also have a house, and I saw that two of his workers, they all have disabilities. He told me the reason as to why both of his workers have disabilities. He told me that to maintain the wealth, Ajay needed to feed on the women that he dated. Not just any woman like I would meet and sleep with. The tortoise will also sleep with those women. And it was sickening to hear, but he assured me that the woman would not know anything. They would not remember anything, and they won't be harmed physically but spiritually. My uncle, when he looked at me, he then said that I should stop praying because prayer was the one that was making me to be poor. So I stopped praying. He told me that since I had been praying and fasting at the time when I met up with him, I was supposed to go at least for 2 months, drink and have sexual intercourse with any woman. So I then started doing that because I was supposed to remove the Holy Spirit from my heart, and he had showed me his accounts, millions, not naira, but dollars, pounds, euros. He was living like a king, always traveling. That when I knew that he was traveling all over the world, and there I was broke, jobless, with nothing to lose. I wrestled with my conscience, knowing that the sins that I was committing, I was kicking the Holy Spirit out of my life. I told myself that I had to go through with it, and it was really tempting the moment that I started sleeping around. After the period that had been given to me to remove the Holy Spirit through sin in my life, that was when I returned back to my uncle. He took me to this other temple. It was just a beautiful mansion, and you would never think that it was a temple. We went there, and from that night, my life changed. The first woman that I met, I'll call her Nkechi, not her real name. I found her on Instagram, beautiful, curvy, the kind of a girl that everyone wanted. We talked for a while, and before long, I invited her over. That night, we had slept together. I felt something that entered into the room. The tortoise that was hidden in my closet, it seemed to come alive. I could hear its movement, feel its presence. It was feeding. The next morning, Nkechi left without any memory of what had happened. She was fine physically, at least, but something was different. She looked tired, drained, as if she had lost a part of herself. I tried not to think about it. Days passed. That was when I saw my bank account swell. I was making deals I never thought were possible. Money was flowing in from all directions. I bought a car, moved into a luxury apartment, and started living the life that I always dreamed of. But to tell you the truth, it seemed as if the cost was too high. The women that I met, the women that I destroyed their lives, especially those young ones that are in college, they hurt me till this day. By 2018, I was a millionaire. I had everything that I ever wanted. I was throwing your parties, meeting celebrities, traveling the world. But the guilt up to this day, the guilt has never left me. And I know that what I am doing, it is totally evil. So currently, I am dating this other woman whom I'll call Aurora. Things with her, they are quite different. She is different from all the women that I have been with. But the truth of the matter is that I am not allowed to get married, for I am married to this tortoise. But the problem is that I love this woman with all of my heart, but at the same time, I cannot bring myself to sleep with her. She has even asked me if I am gay or what, because I have avoided to sleep with her. The reason as to why she wants to sleep with me, it is because she wants me that bad. But the moment that I sleep with her, it will be the end of her. This is my own confession. Please, when you post my own story, tell me so that I can follow through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.